Rally planned, outrage continues to grow over deadly subway chokehold encounter. Jordan Neely's name has been on everybody's lips. If any career criminals are watching this, great news, lads. Great news. If you wish to wipe the slate clean and delete your nefarious and lengthy decades-long criminal career, simply cosplay as Michael Jackson, have a bit of a dance, and all the politicians will be lining up to smoke your pole. Fantastic, eh? Give it a week, Ian Huntley will be digging out the pop star costumes, although I think he's more of a Gary Glitter than a Michael Jackson. Right, this story's shocking. It's been almost the only news story out here in the States for the last 24 hours. The Bootneck will, of course, endeavour to give you the true, honest and abridged version. The death of a subway rider who was put into a chokehold by a former Marine on the train has been ruled a homicide and activists are calling for charges to be filed. Jordan Neely died from compression of the neck, the city's medical examiner determined Wednesday. Neely is recognisable to some New Yorkers as a Michael Jackson impersonator. On Monday afternoon, he was yelling and pacing back and forth on an F train in Manhattan. Witnesses and police said when he was restrained by at least 3 people, including a US Marine who pulled one arm tightly around his neck. A struggle ensued, he lost consciousness and was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. This is why you have to just get away from lunatics, because if you try to be a good Samaritan in this day and age, when justice is no longer blind, if you're unlucky enough to pick on someone who's a protected class, you will be destroyed by the mainstream media. There will be no fair trial by your peers. There will be a mob, a trial by media, and then your destruction. And while I'm on, I'm going to segue into talking briefly about this poor get, ex-officer Tao convicted of aiding George Floyd's killing. There is proof beyond reasonable doubt that Tao's actions were objectively unreasonable from the perspective of a reasonable police officer. Oh really? So he's going to prison for a very, very long time because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. For those of you that don't know, he was a rookie. Where on earth would a young, raw recruit have the confidence to overrule the decisions of the training officers and the sergeants and just instantly decide to start cracking his own detail when he's out on the job? Answer me that. If you were a recruit 12 weeks into your training and the grizzled veteran NCOs told you to do something, you would do it. I wouldn't have the confidence to go against him. I was unconfident for years when I first arrived at a commando unit because I was brand new, fresh out the box, and I didn't know what I was doing. To expect a recruit police officer would break rank, completely ignore the training officer and the ranking sergeant on the ground and just decide, oh, they're being a bit excessive, is ludicrous and completely unreasonable. They keep talking about unreasonable. That's unreasonable. And all he did was hold the crowd back. He never touched Mr. Floyd, so he's just been stitched up as well. Trial by media, angry mob, jail for a very long time. It is ridiculous. And I'm not even talking about the wider case. Just think about it logically. If you were in his shoes, would you assume that you knew more than the training officer and the NCO, assume that they were completely going off the reservation and were ignoring all of the training, and then just decide in front of an angry crowd to overrule everybody around you? What's he going to do? Start tasing the 3 police he's out there with? Think about it rationally. What would you do? Anyway, I went off on a rant. Back to the story at hand. Let's have a look at Mr. Criminal Record longer than the Elephant Man's Chopper. Let's have a look at his nice little dance, shall we? He was 30 years old. Black men deserve to grow old, not be lynched. I'm sorry, lynched. Because they were having a mental health crisis. Okay, fair enough. Come on, let's have a dance. Mediocre and, more importantly, extremely annoying when you're crammed into one of those festering, stinking subway tubes and some smelly old Harold Ramp rocks up and starts badly dancing in front of you. It's annoying. Nobody likes it. That's why everybody's sat there pretending he's not there. Nobody likes it. Stop doing it. And stop feeding them if you're a brain-dead do-gooder and you think feeding them is a good idea. They're like pigeons. If you keep feeding them, they keep coming back. And most women don't want to be accosted by manky old tramps while they're trying to get to work, alright? They're all at it on Twitter. All the usual suspects. Chomper. Let's see what Chomper has to say about it, shall we? Jordan Neely was murdered, but because he was houseless... is that a new word, Chomper? Nobody cares. No charges. The people that grabbed him were bystanders. When three people who don't know each other team up on a homeless man, it's safe to assume that the homeless man was being a gigantic pain in the arse. You devalue the term murder because murder suggests they planned to kill him or they killed him on purpose. They didn't murder him. Three bystanders teamed up to stop a crazy hobo molesting people on the train. They didn't mean to kill him. Any impartial observer can see it. You're just a professional rabble-rouser that clearly can't see. God obviously gave you a double helping of teeth and a half helping of eyeball because you have no idea what's going on. Anyway, please read the links in the comments and make your own minds up. Let me know what you think. Objectively, justice is not blind any longer. You get a trial by media, you get an angry mob, and you go to prison for a very, very long time. Officer Tau got massively stitched up, and if this poor ex-USMC and his two random civilians that assisted him end up getting not locked in the slammer as well, it is a travesty, and they are encouraging Good Samaritans to look the other way and walk away very, very, very quickly. Is this the type of society you want to live in? Answers on a postcard. Can you imagine? If some mental homeless man tries to rape a woman and you're on the train nowadays, basically you're being incentivized to go and walk away looking at your watch. It's despicable, it's disgraceful, and it's dishonest when these ridiculous woke politicians talk total nonsense with impunity in the public space. Anyway, let me know what you think. That's my 2 cents. See you all very soon. Toodle pip.